What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here. So in this video, I wanted to try my first Grandmaster commentary. If you've seen Chablo91's YouTube channel, he does this a lot on the Grandmasters. I soloed this one earlier in the week, and I was using Classy Restoration with a Starfire Protocol build, and that is really good for getting it done safely because Classy Restoration is super OP for just staying alive. But in this one, I went with Solar Fulmination and Revitalizing Blast so that I could take advantage of the explosions. It's very similar to the build I used in Proving Grounds if you're a fan of the channel and watched that last week. It's awesome for ad clear, and it's also really good for just taking out champions really quickly because it will keep damaging them, as we can see in this run. It's pretty RNG dependent a lot of the time in this run. Before I get back to that, I just want to say, if you rip on your Sparrow right there, you can skip this whole opening section. You have to be quite fast, and then you can miss the gate that will hold you out. So that's what I did there. So anyways, what I'm trying to do here is get some grenade kills. I've got Ashes to Assets on my helmet, so that will give me super energy. I also have Thresh and Demolitionist on my machine gun, so I'm getting extra super energy for machine gun kills. Unfortunately, I can't get a well here. A well is really nice. Like if you do that opening room, you would have a well here to do this part, which makes it a little easier. But I just kind of have to play cautiously. You can go to the left and try to stun that champion and get ignition kills on all those ads that are coming out, but it's really tough. It would be a time save if you can get it, but I was struggling to get it. So what I was doing here instead is I just take out all the ads and I leave the champ till last. I'm just avoiding their grenades and all that stuff and just picking them off one by one with my machine gun. Void is the burn on this, so a Void machine gun absolutely slaps in here, especially because the boss room, there's no champions, but there's a ton of ads. So you need something that can deal with ads quickly so that you can capture the plates. I know Osmiomancy is pretty good for like freezing enemies, or an Invis Hunter would be good for capping the plates, but with this build that I'm using, you want to just get all the ads down as quick as possible to cap the plates. So as you can see, I took out all the ads with my machine gun, then I focus up. If you don't know, focus up on the champion, sorry. If you don't know how Starfire Protocol works, when you're in an Empowering Rift, you can throw grenades, or sorry, when you do damage with your weapon, you get grenade energy. So then I'm chucking grenades constantly. I have the solar aspect on Warlock that makes your fusion grenades blow up twice. I also have whatever that fragment is that gives you more Scorch. So 2 fusion grenades with this build will spark an ignition. I think it takes it from 40 to 60. This is really key, and why I wanted to rerun this Grandmaster, because on the boss, this boss is extremely tanky. I'll get back to that in a second. But yeah, so here you can see you can just use ignitions to your advantage to just absolutely wreck both of these unstoppables. So yeah, it makes that part an absolute joke, and it's really easy and quick. But anyways, back to the boss. It's very tanky, so you can put down an Empowering Rift, do a little bit of damage with your weapons, and then you'll have a full grenade charge. And with Starfire, you can hold 2 grenade charges. So you want to throw 2 grenades back to back. That will spark an ignition, and then you just farm a bunch of grenade energy by getting weapon damage on the boss. You'll see I do that with all the champions as well. The Well of Radiance also gives that. But yeah, so if I'm in an Empowering Rift and doing damage to any enemy, I'll get a ton of grenade energy back. So like right here, I put down an I throw my grenade first, and I don't get a kill, so I don't get my Empowering Rift back. That's the other thing that Starfire gives you. When you get a grenade kill, you'll actually get your Empowering Rift back. So now here, I'm farming a few more grenades, just trying to get an angle on those enemies there. I get my grenade back, and I get my super. So I'm about to pop it here. I actually sparked some ignitions, which is really good because that keeps doing damage on the Colossus. Some other enemies get close. I can break a shield again. And the nice thing with Outbreak is, again, you're trying to basically farm grenade energy on the boss, but Outbreak is really good for just sustained damage. because of the way its perk works. The more you deal damage, the more damage it deals. That's really nice here because we're using machine gun and a glaive. Glaive is just great for unstop and for the shield if you need it. So again, here I put down an empowering rift, I stun the champ, and you can see with 2 grenades and the ignition from the stun, it absolutely deletes them, and I have 2 grenades ready to go for the next battle. Can't quite remember. Oh yeah, no, this part goes well. I get screwed by a champion here coming up, as we'll see, and I do screw my jump up here. But yeah, so basically jump up here, get an angle. The thing you always want to do, you want those grenades to be hitting the champion. That one didn't, unfortunately, because when that happens, once you get that stun, boom. Now there's some enemies to the right there, and that's what that ignition hit. So yeah, there you can see I get a couple explosions off there, and it takes out those cleavers or whatever they're called, gladiators. So then you dunk the ball, and then you just want to rip to the back. I did leave that gladiator there. It's not a big deal. I just didn't realize he was still alive. I thought they were both in the corner there. So now I rip back here. You always chuck a grenade here. I have Well of Life on and Elemental Ordnance, so I can make a solar well with my grenade kill. That's why I have healing on the left. And then when I pick that up, I have Well of Life to give me health regen for a little bit. There I get another ignition, which is nice. But unfortunately, I almost die here. I was having trouble getting that stun because of the barrier on my right. So then I just have to kind of adjust, break his shield, hopefully proc an ignition, which I do. Does really good damage here. I had really good RNG on this run. I've run this a bunch of times. I'm working night shifts all summer, so I don't really have a ton of time, but each morning I'd get on for about an hour trying to get a good run here. And this wasn't my best run leading up to the boss. I've had a 10-minute boss room because, as you'll see, there's a champion part coming up right here where I just get screwed. The champion just keeps hiding from me, and it really adds some time. But anyways, I do get some really good ignition, so I was really happy with this gameplay because that's the point of this. I want to show off the build, and I'll probably do a build breakdown showing this Warlock build and how it ignites everything. It's really strong. So this champion coming up is the one that I get kind of screwed on. So the enemies spawn in. I missed my grenade there because he came out fast. Sometimes they stay in the doorway. Got disoriented there. So anyways, I want to get back here, and what I want to do is get that champion to the corner. But unfortunately, he stays back there, and I just can't get the stun to proc an ignition. And it's here's what sucks is I have to run Unstoppable and Anti-Barrier. And in the Proving Grounds solo GM, if you saw it, I had Fastball on, and look, now he's just backing up. I just couldn't get my friggin' grenades to reach this guy. So then I get totally screwed. My well now is out, so now I have to play this very safely and slowly. And yeah, I just got super unlucky there. If I had Fastball on, that grenade hits that champion, then he's on the right more, where that rock is, and then I could have got an easy stun. It would have procced an ignition and took out all those ads. So now I'm just like wasting time. I can't hit his crit because I'm low because I don't have Classy Restoration. And it was just, this was really frustrating. So now I have to take all the ads, and here I readjust. Here I'm getting frustrated because, yeah, he's just being a bastard. And that's how these GMs go sometimes. Yeah, there's honestly just a lot of RNG in it. You can do things to manipulate, and there I don't even get an ignition. That's another thing that happens sometimes. I'm not sure why. But yeah, you can do things to manipulate champions, but sometimes they're just going to do what they want to do. I forget about the ball behind me as I go up and finish this guy. So anyways, do a little teabag because I was frustrated with him, and added a couple minutes to the run. I was on pace easy for a 10-minute boss room here. So that was a little frustrating. But anyways, then you just come up here. You take the bottom champ down. You can pop your super for either one of these. It doesn't really matter. I think I popped my super on the first one, where in a lot of my other runs, I didn't have my super by then because I would like get that other champion down quicker. So as you'll see after this champ, there I miss a grenade. I don't always run fastball like when I run Controverse, but I was just so used to it with fusions that a lot of my fusion throws were really off in this run. But anyway, here I go up and I put an Empowering Rift where I normally put my well, which was really dumb because you're in line of sight of the champ. So now I don't get to take advantage of farming grenade energy. off my rift. So yeah, I just made a lot of dumb plays here. So now I have to play it slow. I have to wait for my cooldowns. Again, I have Demolitionist on my machine gun, so I could maybe try to get a kill with that to get my grenade back a little quicker. And then if I got a kill with my fusion grenade, which I don't here, but if I did, that would give me an empowering rift. And then I could just keep the cycle going. So really the cycle with Starfire Protocol is put down a rift, and then just start spamming grenades, spam your weapon, and then you get your grenades back, get kills with your grenade, get your rift back. And if you're playing that playstyle right, you can just always have grenade energy and rift energy up. So here, get the finish on him. I notice I have 2 heavy bricks here. So what I do, I accidentally picked up that one, but I want to avoid this one, so I go to the side, and then I can use my machine gun here to take out all these adds. So I use that. I use Demolitionist to proc my machine gun throughout the whole thing. It's a really underrated part of the perk that I think a lot of people forget about, myself included. Like that's why I whipped that nade, is just to reload my machine gun, because I know I'll have my grenades back by the time I get to the boss room. So now there's just a few adds in the hallway. I actually get a little reckless with them. Sometimes they're bunched up and sometimes they're not, but I try to like whip a grenade past the first one. But unfortunately 2 came so low, so then I kind of just have to glaive my way through these guys. But yeah, you can see the power of this build with the ignitions and everything. This build will hold up in the future, because 2 fusion grenades with the fragment that applies more scorch will always be able to start an ignition. The only thing is this season it's really good because of revitalizing blast, or whatever it's called, that will proc an ignition on a champion stun. So you can get a ton more ignitions. But you'll see towards the end of this boss fight, I get a really good ignition that not only clears a bunch of adds, but it does a bunch of damage to the boss, which is, again, why I wanted to run this one back. I wanted to get a really fast clear with a more aggressive build. If you're just going for a clear, run Classy Restoration and 100 Resilience. Don't run this build that I'm running. This is aggressive, and I did die a lot in the boss room trying to get this footage, because I really wanted a run that would show off the build kind of to its max potential, and I think this one did that. So here, sometimes I could actually kill enough adds here where I could save my well and use it for boss DPS right after, but I kind of messed up here, so pop the well just to cap the plate, and then we take out all the adds. And then what we do is there's this rock on the right where you can head glitch the boss, and it's really nice because, again, if you're doing weapon damage in an empowering rift, you're going to get your grenade energy. So what I should have done was whip my 2 grenades first, because now I'm wasting a couple seconds of my Emp rift. But regardless, and I didn't have Outbreak unloaded because I'm the worst for having my weapons reloaded. I love auto-loading holster. But anyways, and this boss does move around quite a bit, which is frustrating because you do miss a lot of solar grenades. You saw that one kind of just wrap around them. But yeah, what you want to do is do this as long as you can, and you can see my weapon damage from Outbreak was ramping up there. I think I was hitting like 1447 or something. So that's just because of the way that weapon's perk works. So then what you want to do, and I don't know if I get one here, but I want to get at least 1 grenade kill so I can get my Emp Rift back. But now, because I have 90 recovery, I almost have it back. So whip one out, get my Empowering Rift, make sure pretty much all the adds are clear, because they will hit you with their little mines while you're standing on the rock. So now, here we go. This is what I was saying. Put the Emp Rift down, do damage. There, we proc an ignition, keep doing damage. I got 4 seconds left, so I want to get all my grenades recharged. Take it right to 0. So see, if I had thrown back-to-back grenades there, I would have been short 1 grenade, because I actually shot in between just to top up, because I knew I only had 1 or 2 seconds left on my Empowering Rift. So I was able to get 1 more grenade charge just by spamming my Outbreak there. So now, again, it's just add clear. You can be pretty liberal with your machine gun ammo, but you do want to save some for like the final wave as well. Try not to like blow it all on the adds, but yeah. And basically this is the rest of the encounter, is just rinse repeating this. Again, I have Thresh on my machine gun, Ashes to Assets on my helmet, which gives you super energy for grenade kills. So I'm fully spec'd into just trying to get my super as much as possible, which is really important because you can cap these plates without a super. I've done it before, but you need really good timing. Even with as many times as I've run this, again, this build was pretty aggressive, so I never really got to the second phase all that many times because I was trying to be very aggressive. So I don't know exactly how the spawns of the enemies work in this final room. But, so like I said, you can cap the plate without a Well of Radiance, but I just find it so much easier to. So that's why I really spec'd into getting as much super energy as I could. Font of Wisdom would be another good thing to run, potentially, except picking up your wells in this room is very tough because all the enemies stay at, like you can see I got 2 wells on the ground right now. The one just despawned on the left, but there's one right in front of me. Even with Seeking Wells, which I have on my chest piece, it's very difficult to grab those wells because you cannot get close to that boss. You'll just die. So here I almost got past phase 1, but now I have to reset. Just back it up. Again, I'm trying to get a grenade kill here to get my Empowering Rift, which I do. Now I can put my Rift down, and now I can farm these enemies and get grenade energy up. And the cycle continues. And because Thresh and I was getting grenade kills, I have my super up again. So now I'm pretty much ready to cap the next plate. But you want to make sure there's not too many ads on the field when you do go to cap the plate, because more ads spawn in once you stand on it. That guy throws a god nade, so it makes me, because I wanted to potentially save my well, because if I can save my well there, then I don't have to farm it for the next plate. But that nade was on point, so I had to put my well down just to stay safe and hold my ground, because I'm trying to cap the plate as quick as possible. However, if you were running Classy Restoration there, you could just put an Emprift down, tank that nade, and still stay standing there, and maybe clear the ads fast enough to the point where you don't need to put a well down. So now I'm just kind of running for my life. There's a ton of ads. This is why Icarus Dash is nice with Burst Glide. I kind of managed to get out of there. If I don't have 100 resilience on there, I'm probably dead. So I loop around, pick up ammo, scan the field, try to get a grenade kill. Grenades do not one-shot those gladiators, even with the one aspect on, unfortunately. So now pop a rift in a safe place. You want to do this at the very back. And now, as you can see, I pretty much have all my grenade energy up. So now I can once again... Ooh, that was a very close call. I should have just finished that guy. But anyways, now I'm running around. And yeah, in between here, you're kind of just trying to clear ads and run for your life. That's pretty much my strategy. I don't have much more strategy than that. I would just run around. Now the Incendiors are out. They have their little flamethrowers. Again, I'm just running around, grab some ammo, keep the enemies at bay, and then you can catch your breath at the back of this room again and start taking out the ads. And again, you want to try to get as many grenade kills as you can. Because of Ashes to Assets, it's just going to get you your super quicker so that you can cap the next plate. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just like, okay, screw it. I got kind of messed up there, completely whiffed a grenade. I saw that Legionary on the left, but also the guy on the right, and I didn't know which one to throw to, and I kind of threw in between them. So once again, now I put an Emprift down, and I start capping the plate, because once they spawn out the door, I might be a little late with this nade. No, I nail it. So now I knew I was going to get my super if I hit that grenade, and unfortunately, these gladiators moved too quick, and there was a grenade thrown right at my feet, so I had to pop a super again. Couldn't cap this plate without the well, but that's okay. That's why we're running Well of Radiance. This is just what you have to do sometimes. There are other strategies, like I said, but I really wanted to use this solar build and just show how strong Solar Warlock is and the ignitions can be, especially for a tanky boss like this. Like Warden of Nothing next week, if I have time, I might try to solo it as well with this one. Again, Classy Restoration will be massive in that boss room. So I'll probably be using that, at least on my first clear, just to get a feel for the GM. But yeah, that boss is weak, and your solar grenades and ignitions will do a ton of damage there. Again, Icarus Dash coming in so nice. it can just save you. It can get you out of jams. It's so worth running in my opinion, especially with burst glide because you can get around quickly. It's actually honestly really good for getting out of jams, so I definitely recommend it over heat rises, especially because we're planted with everything we're doing with this build. We're never really doing aerial combat. So here again, move my way to the back, kind of survey, see a gladiator pushing up. So here, just gonna farm my grenade energy, hopefully get a grenade kill because I've got 2 grenades and no rift. There, I made such a mistake because if I didn't shoot that guy, I'd probably get the grenade kill. But here I get a grenade kill, and that gives me my super. I think there's something with if you keep the incendiaries on the field, like less enemies spawn in. That's why I didn't kill them outright right away. And now you can see when they're dead, they all come out. So now I'm just going to kill the ads, and now we're getting ready for the second boss phase. So we're at 20 minutes here. I think that's a pretty good time for capping all 3 plates solo. It felt good to me anyways. Here I was very close to death. I should have just been shooting those enemies with the glaive, not trying to beat them down, because unstoppable glaive, yes, it stuns unstoppables, but it will also stun enemies. As you can see right there, he just kind of flinched. It will also kind of stop the gladiators, not like fully, but it stuns them briefly. So now I have 1 gladiator on the field, and again, I feel like when all the enemies are off the field, then new ones spawn in. So I'm actually kind of trying to keep him alive and just keep my eye on him. And he can't really attack me here, but then I see enemies are about to spawn in. So in my empowering rift, I take a couple shots of the glaive just to get my grenade energy back up. And now, like I said, it's rinse repeat. This phase has phalanxes, which are kind of annoying because they're a little tough to kill with grenades. Their shields kind of block all the damage. But again, I'm just kind of whipping grenades, getting my super energy up, because once we have the Well of Radiance, it's really good for damage, obviously. I use a little bit of my machine gun ammo on the boss just because he was over there. And I'm just honestly just trying to clear out the ads as best I can. Anti-barrier is really nice for these phalanx shields. I see there's not too many enemies, so I'm going to my spot to post up. I get a well down. And now here's the heavy DPS. I want all the ads off the field. I was hoping he'd be a little closer, because when you get a headshot kill with Outbreak, it will spread the nanites to nearby enemies. So it just would have stacked up my damage quicker. But here I'm hitting 1475s again, up to 1676s, plus all the grenades with the ignitions. So you could see for solo damage, that was really good. I get a nade out there, get some grenade energy, back up to our safe spot. And again, I'm just going to try to clear ads. None are really peeking the very small window I have. I should have put that rift a little more to the left. So what I'm doing here is, if I don't go too high, I can still get damage from my empowering rift. So I was getting grenade energy there, which gave me 2 grenades. This was very scary. That void, the void trail will kill you pretty much instantly. And I thought I was dead there because I have died in this spot. Normally it does what just happened, where it'll boop you up, but this is Destiny, and Bungie being Bungie, I have had it where I was standing there, thought it would boop me, but no, the trail went like right past me and insta-killed me. So now, again, I'm in the well. Here's where the ignitions go off. I got 2 good solar grenades on them, fusion grenades, I should say. And then it was just ignitions galore, and you can just see ton of boss DPS, ton of ad clear. There was a ton of ads on the field because there's still a lot, even with all those ignitions. So again, just keep chucking your nades, keep doing as much damage as you can. I probably shouldn't have wasted that much machine gun ammo there in case I needed it, but luckily. And then here I just panic popped because I was like, this is a good run. No way I'm losing this. I wouldn't have died there. I could have went back to my spot. But it really doesn't matter because you can see this is not a bad spot to DPS from either. It's not as good as the rock on the right because the rock on the right, you just always have line of sight on the boss no matter what. And then this, again, so that little trail of void on the left, if you run over that, it can kill you. And again, the boss was so low, I was taking no chances by dipping over there. So here I'm just trying to get some damage on just to get my grenades up, and I think this is the final nade. Maybe not. because that boss moved. Yep. So that was the final nade. So under 25 minutes. Again, this build, it is so fun. I hope it's as strong after this season without the solar mods. I'm excited for Arc 3.0 with that being said. But anyways, that was the Insight Terminus Grandmaster with my Ignition build. And like I said, I may do a breakdown on that build. So if you want to see that, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. And if you made it this far, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Take care.